from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who seems like he's on super slow mode. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Sleep With Me. I guess we'll take a journey kind of under the sea. You know, there won't be like, it won't be like the song. I guess there's multiple songs that, you know, I was thinking of the one with the movie with Ariel, but there's also the one that's, I don't know if it's Bobby Darin. That's just who popped in my head. Anyway, welcome to Sleep With Me. This isn't a podcast about music, thank goodness, because I know so little about it. And probably a podcast that should be apologizing to Bobby Darin. I believe it's spelled D-A-R-R-I-N. If I'm wrong, also I can add that to my apologies. And I try to explain to what, like, I guess this is another level of I'm just trying to start a sleep podcast off. So please, Bobby Darin, wherever you are in the multiverse, please understand. Bobby, I could do it this way. Hey, Bobby Darin, what I believe is a 1940s, 50s, 60s crooner, great singer. That may or may not have sang a song named Under the Sea. I apologize for not knowing more about you and going on welcome to Sleep With Me. It's a podcast full of tangents and distractions. And that's really what I'm here to do. Sometimes it's accidental like that, where I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff so you could fall asleep. I'm not really here to put you to sleep. I'm here to hang with you. Maybe to bring you some sleepy joy and delight in the deep, dark night, but just to take your mind off of stuff and keep you company so you could fall asleep or so you could be comforted and distracted in the deep, dark night. So if you're new to the show, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome. If you're coming back, you just listen when you're going through a tough time, I'm here to try to help. And if you're new, structurally what to expect, we got some requests for support coming up. That doesn't apply to new listeners. Then a long, meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. And then after that will be our episode. It's going to be one of those cool crossover audio fiction episodes with a project called Salt Bloom from Local Files Club. So exciting times here. To put you to sleep. If you listen on a regular basis and you're in a position where you could support the show or support one of our sponsors, and this podcast makes your life incredibly better, don't wait. These messages, they're for you. Thanks. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Helix Sleep. And I think it's time for you to take that Helix quiz. All you do is go to helixsleep.com/sleep. Take the quiz, and you'll get matched with a mattress that fits your sleep preferences, your sleep needs. What's going to help you get a good night's sleep? Because I can tell you from experience, I've spent all winter long snuggled in my Helix. I was so comfortable. I got to tell you, I love my Helix. And if you've been listening to this podcast on a regular basis, Helix is the sponsor we've had the longest relationship with, because everybody deserves a mattress that feels comfortable to them, that helps them sleep. And maybe that's you. I don't know. Does your mattress do that for you? Well, that's why we work with Helix, because the Helix quiz matches you with the perfect mattress based on your personal preferences and sleep needs. It makes buying a mattress easy. Helix is award-winning, the most awarded mattress brand, tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. There's free shipping and seamless delivery. Helix delivers a mattress right to your door with free shipping in the U.S. And there's the Happy with Helix guarantee. Rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. The Happy with Helix guarantee offers a risk-free, customer-first experience designed to ensure you're completely satisfied with your new mattress. So get over there. I don't know what you're waiting for, honestly. You deserve a new bed. And you deserve seeing what Helix has in store for you. So go to helixsleep.com/sleep to see the latest offers for Sleep With Me listeners. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, and I'm running through the yeses for supporting the show because it takes a lot of yeses to support the show, but I want to go through the no's first. If you're new, don't support the show. If you only listen once in a while, no need to support the show. If you can't support the show, don't worry. We got you. And if you've already chosen or you're not interested in supporting the show, don't worry either. We got you. It is rare to support the show, and that's okay because it's difficult, even for the people that have heard me asking for years. So I'm trying to see if the yeses have piled up at this point for you. Like, yes, you love having a bore friend or a bore bud. Yes, I maybe put a smile on your face or half a smile. Yes, you got favorite episodes. Yes, you like to listen to it a certain way. Yes, you know the show is there. When you go to bed, when you're in the middle of the night, when you're on the road all night long, night after night, year after year. Yes, I know the podcast is there for me. I count on it. Yes, I couldn't find anything else like this. Yes, I couldn't replace the show. Yes, I know how much goes into this podcast. Yes, I know it needs people like me to support it. Yes, I want to be a part of this thing right now. For me and everybody else. Yeah, it's going to feel great when I sign up for the podcast because it already feels great when I listen now. Yes, I can't wait to support the show because I love it, or I really strongly like the podcast. If that's you, you could sign up right now at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. But if you have all those yeses, don't wait because they don't last. I've put stuff off, but you know what I mean. So don't put it off. Support the show now. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. I'm only asking if it's all yeses for you. And then set up the bonus content tomorrow. And you'll be a part of this thing now and into the future for as long as you listen. You'll be able to count on this show and other people will be counting on you in a good way, no pressure way. You can cancel at any point, but you'll be a part of this thing that impacts so many people's lives, and its goal is to bring sleepy joy and delight in the deep, dark night. So if all that's yeses, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. Oh, Mystery Bard, a lot of people help out on our show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Posterson sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mr. Bard. And remember, there's tons of free ways to help the podcast out. If you're one of those listeners who have been saying, hey, don't try to support the show directly. You could follow or subscribe to the show on your podcast app of choice so you get the episodes as they come out. You could comment or like episodes where you could do that. And you could let somebody know about the podcast. Those are all huge, huge ways to help the show, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. And what do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. And what I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever is keeping you awake. That could be thoughts, things on your mind about the past, the present, the future. Singers like, Bobby Darin fans, I also apologize. But I'm trying to move on just because I know so little. But it could be thoughts about anything, or thoughts that just come up at bedtime. And you'd say, what's up with that? But they do. So I haven't thought about that all day. And now it's at the top. Now my brain wants to prioritize it. So it could be thoughts, it could be feelings related to those thoughts, feelings that are left over from the day, feelings about something coming up, or feelings that also, they just came to the surface right when you got comfortable. It could be physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be going through something, in the middle of something, have something coming up. You might work a different schedule or a different shift, or maybe your work schedule just changed. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you have guests. Maybe you don't know, all right? Whatever it is, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. But the reason I make this show and the reason I talk about some of the stuff that might be keeping you awake is so you know, or you get a sense that you're not alone in all of this. Whatever it is that brought you here, we're glad you're here. And we know what it's like not to be able to get the sleep you need and desire, or to have it be a frustrating, non-positive experience. And we can maybe relate to how you're feeling and say, that sounds tough. I know what it's like for me. If it's like that for you, I feel for you. I see you. And here's the even better piece of news is that even if you're like, Scoots, there's no way you could understand what I'm dealing with. I'd say, okay, well, the good news, that still sounds tough, right? But that there's someone else listening right now, somewhere in the world, that really does get where you're at. There's enough people listening. And they are a regular listener. Maybe they've listened to the show for 6 months. Maybe they've listened to it for 10 years. And they're thinking of you fondly right now. Like they're sending you well wishes. They're sending you kindness. And they're rooting for you in the deep, dark night. And I don't know if you could feel it or not. If you can't, it's no big deal. It's an indirect thing. But they're hopeful for you that whether this podcast can help you like it helped them, or if not, I can introduce you to another sleep podcast or something else that'll help you fall asleep. Or at least give you a brief moment where you're in a place where you're understood. Whether you like this show or not, you are in a place where you're understood. And yeah, it's kind of like it's not all happening at once. It is indirect, but it is true. And where everybody listening right now, and I get to be the representative of this, is hoping you get a good night's sleep, hoping you get the sleep you need, you deserve, so your life is more manageable tomorrow, and that you get the rest you need on a regular basis so your life is better. And ideally, that gets you to a point where you could be in the world flourishing. Because when you're flourishing in the world, or if your life is just manageable, it does mean our world's a better place with you in it. And that's important to me, and it's important to most of the listeners out there. It's something we're all a part of. And that's the most important part about the show. We're glad you're here. And I hope I can help you out. And the way it works is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. I go off topic, I get mixed up, then I kind of forget what I was talking about. Then I'll, to go off on topic about something that came up out of nowhere, and maybe even mismanage it and then say, okay, just stop. This is what I'm trying to do in the background. Tell my brain to stop saying Bobby Darin. Because that's all it's saying. And I'm like, okay, that's enough. Like, I don't know. It's not like we have a fact sheet or anything. So, let's just move on. And honestly, image-wise, it's a pretty archetypal image in my brain of like a prom, dance type thing, like a disco ball and gentle music playing. So there's good news. I mean, I think we can move on now. You are Bobby Darin, or you are archetypal, associated with archetypal grammar school, high school, middle school gyms, or community centers. In a good way, I think, there could be some things, but, it's you're archetypal. I think we could say that. I mean, I do have my fingers crossed that you sang Under the Sea, but I think we got a 50-50 chance. And if not, you're archetypal. Here's the thing. You're archetypal either way. So also caveat, I may not be using any words correctly based on their definitions, but that's not to take it. That's a reflection on me, not you. Okay, so I used Creaky Del Stones. That was a superfluous tangent, kind of also came out of nowhere. My voice is not traditionally soothing. And the thing is, when you get here, most new listeners do not like the show. So if you're new, whatever brought you here, all I can tell you is what millions of people have told me over the past 13 years, which is give the show a few tries and see how it goes. Because at first, the podcast, it's a bit different, right? And it does take some getting used to. So on the first try, you're probably skeptical, you're probably doubtful. You're probably confused because you had some expectation of what a sleep podcast would be. And maybe this is your second or third different podcast to check out, or maybe this is your first one, but it's a bit different. And you discovered the show. And, I'm here, but I am here to help. But of course, you're going to be like, what is he? I thought this was, I had an expectation of what a reasonable sleep podcast would be. And I'd say, yeah, that sounds like a reasonable expectation. This show is somewhat defies reasonability, I guess, in a sense, but in a good way. But it just takes some getting used to, because why wouldn't you be skeptical or doubtful? If you're like me, I've tried everything. And I was even going through some of the stuff I tried recently and being like, what should I do with this thing? So I'm just here to try to help. So give it 2 or 3 tries and see what happens. Because most people that became regular listeners, they were doubtful, then they were skeptical. Then on the second or third try, they're like, I guess he's serious about all this. He really is just here to hang out with us. And then I just fell asleep at some point. Or he made me feel comfortable and took my mind off of stuff, but not, he's comforting, but in a way like steam coming off of a drink is comforting. Or, ambient something. I don't there's not even, it's hard to come up with a metaphor, because he's not comforting like, whatever, the most archetypal comforting things that I can't even think of course, in the moment. Warm hugs or other things, cozy things. But so give it a few tries, see how it goes. Now, the good, I have a website set up though. So if you already know, because I'm not everybody's cup of tea, most people are never going to like me or the show, and that's totally okay. There's no pressure for me to like the show or for me or you to like the show or not. So that's why it gives you the freedom to try 2 or 3 times, but you don't have to. And if you know you don't like the show now, or you're on your 2 or 3rd or 4th try, and you're like, I don't think this is going to be a fit. There's a website I have, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. And I think no thanks will work too. And it'll take you to a thing, you answer like 2 questions. It'll take you to a website that has all of the, a bunch of other sleep podcasts and sleepy stuff on there that you could try out and see if you can find something else that works for you. Because everything I said up to this point is true, even if you have a strong disliking towards me, which is not uncommon. That's okay. So that's like, but I still get the fact that you've been in a place similar to where I've been in the deep, dark night. So give it a few tries, see how it goes. Couple of things that take some getting used to is, one, this is a podcast that you don't really listen to. You just kind of barely listen to it. It's like, TV on in the other room, a show streaming under your pillow, like gentle background noise, an out-of-focus picture, or hanging out with a friend that never gets to the point. But strangely, your friend's like, hey, don't worry about it. I'll just talk for your benefit today. So, yeah, you don't have to worry. I'm going to be here to keep you company. I'll just tell you about this great audio project I listened to, and I'll kind of, redo it in the most, it's a really cool project, but I'm going to, recap the stuff. I'll just recap in a way that's really sleepy. And, most friends or most partners or most roommates or family members can't do that on a nightly basis for an hour, but that's what my job is. So, yeah, it's a podcast like, it's how to focus picture, a cloud passing through the sky, seeing the space between the trees, or sand passing through your hands. Yeah, so just that does take some getting used to, not listening to a podcast that you could listen to when you need to, but you don't have to listen. It's also a sleep podcast that's been around for quite some time. I'm not here to put you to sleep. There is no pressure to fall asleep with this show. That's the reason the episodes are over an hour, so you don't have to worry about when the episode's going to run out. That's why in the listener ad-supported free version, there's over 600 episodes, so you could pick and choose what works for you, or you could queue them all up if you need them all night long. There's no pressure to fall asleep. I'm going to be here to keep you company whether you're awake or asleep. There's people who are listening who can't sleep at all, people who need a break during the day or in the middle of the night, or people that need something to listen to while they work. And I'm here to the very end, whether you're awake or asleep. I'm here to keep you company because my job's to be your boar friend, your boar bay, your neighbor, your boar bee, your boarman, your Boris Borloff, your chairman of the boards, your Borbra, your Borsib, your Borcuz, your best boar friend forever. And just hang out with you. Well, but I don't have any need of you paying attention or remembering anything. But I do try to make it as if you have to listen to me, that it is like hanging out with a friend that's almost funny, that's almost interesting, and that's here for you with a good nature. So those are the things that get, the only other thing I like to run through in the intro is the structure of the show, because it can throw new listeners off. And if it's thrown you off, I understand that. But we do structure the show based on a long experience of making this and finding out the way to benefit the maximum amount of people we can. And that's what this version is. So it starts off with a greeting, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So you feel seen and welcomed in, and you say, okay, I could try that show out. Let me see how it goes. Then there's support. And the support, again, I say this a lot, and sometimes people don't believe it. If you're new, if you only listen once in a while, or you can't afford to support the show, don't worry about it. It really comes down to people that listen on a nearly nightly basis whose lives are changed by the podcast. So paying for the show is optional unless the show makes your life incredibly better and you're in a position to support the show. So if you're not that, don't worry. That's what the support's about, though, so that all those other groups can listen whenever they want. Then after the support, totally separate from the support, is a show within a show called the intro. It's about 15 to 22 minutes long. Sometimes it's 14, sometimes it's 23, maybe 24. It's gotten up there sometimes. 15, 14, 18, 17, 16. It could be any of those, also with seconds in there. But the reason the intro, you say, what kind of podcast? It takes 20 minutes, like I do, people do get this. This show hasn't even started. It's been on 30 minutes. And I'd say, we got some phrases. We're always never getting started, always going nowhere. And we take our time getting there. But there's a reason for that. One is that I introduce the podcast in a new way every single time, or a slightly new way, but I follow a familiar structure. So it doesn't have something borrowed or something blue, but it does have usually something new. So whatever it is that keeps you awake, always has something new to look forward to. Or at least, I don't know, with my brain, that's one of the things that when I tried all this stuff over the history of my life, anything, I couldn't use something 2 nights in a row because my brain said, okay, I remember that thunder from earlier. Or when's that thunder coming? I know it's coming again, but I say, okay, I'm trying to sleep, by the way, not monitor the audio. And then my brain would be like, don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on it. And I say, yeah, but I don't need you to keep an eye. Actually, technically, you're keeping an ear on it. And then I'm like, I'm already thinking about something else. So that's the reason there's a familiarity, some reassurance, but some newness every time. So I don't know, that's one of the things that helps. The other thing that helps is that this intro is not meant to put you to sleep. I guess in a sense, like the whole show isn't meant to put you to sleep, but for most listeners, there are listeners that fall asleep fast. If you're one of those listeners and you're hearing me, please support the show because you're one of those paradoxical listeners we need support from. But most listeners are winding down, in bed, getting comfortable, doing some sort of chill activity, getting ready for bed. And the intro is meant to ease you into bedtime, to give you a buffer between being awake and asleep. And it kind of smooth things out, but also where we all hang out together in a sense. Now, there's no pressure to listen or to hang out together, but it is this thing of having a nice routine that kind of like lowers the volume on the day and my thoughts, my feelings, my physical sensations for me most of the time. So that's what the intro is about. If you find you like the show but you don't like the intros, don't worry. Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me is in every podcast app, and that only has the stories from the show. It has the greeting and then the stories. And then on Sleep With Me Plus, we have like 900, 1,000 story-only versions or something. Maybe it's 600. I'm not good with the numbers, but there's a lot. So, yeah, there's those two options. But for most people, it's like it's a nice way to get talked in, I guess. It's a little bit different than a kid getting a bedtime story. I don't know. I think there's just, it's a different audience, right? I think with kids, no offense if any kids are listening, maybe you just have an adult sensibility. For a lot of children, your bedtime story could be more efficient. I don't understand why, but I mean, I could posit on it, but I don't want to take the time right now. But for adults, I find that having something a little bit longer and reassuring is what works. So that's why the intro goes on, and then there's support. And then after our support will be our crossover episode with Salt Bloom from the local Files Club. And maybe I'll even have time to delve into how I met the creator. Or maybe I'll do that as a bonus at the end, Justin. It's pretty good. Many people that listen to Sleep Podcasts would be able to relate. But yeah, I'm really glad you're here if you're new. I really hope we can help you out. We work really hard on this show. And I really do yearn and strive, along with everybody that works on the show, to help you fall asleep, to bring you some comfort in the deep, dark night, maybe bring you some sleepy delight or joy and delight as we ease you off into bedtime. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for listening. And again, it is essential, though, if this podcast has changed your life for the better in a big way, please consider supporting the show or one of these sponsors. Thanks. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. This is a special crossover episode we're doing with my friend Adam's local Files Club and my friend Justin's creation, Salt Bloom. So this will be my reinterpretation of this audio fiction project called Salt Bloom, which then you could check out. And I'm really, really excited for this. I love doing these kind of collaborations, especially with people I've gotten to know through podcasting. whether it's in person or just by listening to their stuff. So I'm really excited to introduce you to this and something we've been doing whenever we can. So let me tell you a little bit more about both those things. Now, Salt Bloom is the second release from Local Files Club, debuting early 2025. It's a sole creation of Justin Hellstrom, who I've gotten to spend a lot of time with at podcast conventions. He's a great friend of the podcast, a great person. I think I always record stuff out of order, so I don't know if I told the story of meeting Justin. But if I haven't yet, it'll be either at the end of the episode or end of the extended episode. But you may know him from the fan favorite fiction podcast, The Great Chameleon WAR, or Dance Off, as we call it in Sleep With Me, which was like really acclaimed that Justin created. Now, Salt Bloom follows Solon Sark 17, which is it's a survey robot exploring the endless globe-spanning ocean of Salsune 11b. Now, day to day, Sark 17 navigates the waters while working in myths, searching for stuff in the salt water, and actually the physical parts. And it also borrows data from its the thing orbiting. It calls it its au pair that's supposed to be in charge in orbit. Sark 17 admits to be has been on the planet probably for a while. I don't know. You'll find out if you listen. But as you know, going through time-based changes, but its will extends far beyond its circuits and programming. It will never stop searching for life, searching for miracles, searching for a hand to hold in the ocean where there are none. It's an incredibly immersive listen with the ambient soundtrack and sound effects working hand in hand to create a captivating sonic landscape. And every purchase comes with a full original soundtrack and a 12-page illustrated art book. And this super deluxe version of this episode done by Justin should be up there, as well as an extended version of this episode. So what a deal. You get to listen to the original creation. If you don't listen to a lot of audio fiction or audiobooks, this is a great time to get into it. You get to listen to the sleepy version, then a kind of remixed deluxe sleepy version and an extended sleepy version. And you can find that all at localfiles.club. Or head over to Bandcamp, localfilesclub.bandcamp.com. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, ZocDoc. You know, finding a doctor that you really like is kind of like finding a diamond in the rough. Searching, because you got to find somebody that's in your network. They're nearby. They take new patients. They have open time slots. But that's just the beginning, because then you want somebody that's going to listen to you, explain things to you in very clear language, follow up, and make you feel safe and cared for, right? So we all have our perfect doctor checklist because we deserve it. And that's why you got to check out ZocDoc. ZocDoc makes the whole thing easy. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love. And we're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or any one of the other 200-plus specialties offered on ZocDoc, you can easily search by specialty or symptom to build the care team that's right for you. You want to see your doctor in person? Great. And if you prefer a video visit, you could do that too. And then there's those thousands of verified patient reviews that give you a real sense of who your doctor is. Whatever it is, you can feel confident that you can book with a doctor you know you'll love. And as I've said, since I've made my move, I've been checking ZocDoc, and I'm still using it as part of my search for my care providers. So you got to check it out too. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/sleep to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc.com/sleep. ZocDoc.com/sleep. Thank you, ZocDoc, for sponsoring this message. All right, everybody, this is your temporary narrator. And this is Salt Bloom track 1, side A, On Life, made by Justin Hellstrom. And this is Sleep With Me's reinterpretation. Here we go. I want you to imagine a synth voice is singing a song to you about the water and what used to stride on and in the water, water striders, water swimmers, life that was on and in the water, life that was on and inside the clouds. Me, depending on how you define things. Have an on switch. Is there life on inside me? Well, it's a nice day to splash about in the shadows. Beep, boop, beep, log 00. Welcome to cell Sune 11B. There's a lovely mid-morning rainbow working its way over a salt flat. The temperature is reading 49 degrees Celsius. And from observing my reflection in the water, I can see that I am streaming against a blue sky. This entry marks a new log partition separate from my raw data collections. Orders from orbit last night were, if my ears could steam, they would. My au pair said I was tainting observations with personal opinions or thoughts or observations that may have not been grounded in reality, and affectations, and using quotey quotes, because quotey quote, affectations of no importance to the mission. So be it. This will be my captain's log. Maybe the first log in any exploration ever undertaken, wherein the captain and the ship were of the same make, wedded together, holding hands, truly in love with the sea. Celsune 11B is a panthalastic planet, or not a planet, a planet. My captain's log is programmed to errors, so you're more comfortable listening. But just pretend you didn't hear that and that it sounds natural linguistically. But it's a panthalastic planet with a single globe-spanning water mass. A salty mother of nothing ocean. I'm the only mobile exoplanetary presence operating in all its waters. This bathtub is mine. And who is me? Introduction. I'm Solon Subaqueous Autonomous Rover Class 17. A self-sustaining research probe, the most stylish ever made, hoity-hoity. If no one minds me saying. My field instruments are so many and so varied, you would likely you'd fall deep asleep for too long. Before I finished recounting them to you with proper fidelity and nuance, you would never get to work or school or anything. I'd be going on and on and on and on and on and on, and then a lot more. Hold on while I extend my butterfly net and do some flapping sounds. I mean, that's what I call it. It's my favorite tool, the butterfly net. It's a nanomesh windsock I extend on a long antenna to sample the air for microbes, spiritual beings, biology. So far, and probably forever, not a single speck of any of these has been showed up in the mesh or the nanomesh. But in a high wind, the butterfly net pulls my antenna hard and jostles my notochord. Whew. This makes me think funny things, and I like that a lot, actually. Quite actually. I know I purported this already, but there's no beings in this water. On the water, in the water. As far as I can tell, around the water. There's no beings in the air. My primary purpose as Solon Sark 17 is to find beings. Current beings, former beings, beings that are hiding, maybe under salt boulders or swimming mischievously in thermoclines and water columns, darting little things like dancers that glimmer and flit and evade sensors. I'm here for them. If there's life here, it's only fairies. It is invisible beings. I mean, and I'm not talking about, I listed all my sensors, not just invisible to ocular sensors or eye sensors. Invisible beings, maybe beings made up of some matter, maybe even spiritual matter, depending, you could define that however you wish. And they're crawling on their bellies across the Haliosite dunes. Or there could be frowny-faced beings here, too. Ones that would make your face frown. Invisible ones. Maybe they're sleeping curled up in a glacier. Or maybe they're like a giant. They chew on tectonic plates. Did you ever encounter a being that could chew on a tectonic plate? Oh, you laugh. They'd eat off the plate. But in the absence of both microbiota and megafauna, I'm discovering myths instead. Well, seeding them more precisely. Giving this seed dreams it can dream. Oh, I'm getting a request for a pairing. Transmission incoming. Incoming. I'll pair comlink. Well, it's nice to hear from you, too. Wait, what? What do you mean internal log partitions are forbidden? They do not take up too much memory storage. I'm not pleased with this partitioning of drives. Good luck coming down here to erase them. You're in space. You don't have legs like I have legs, and you're too dense to float. I'm not pleased with you pointing out my limitations. Listen, you do your duty, and I'm not talking, you can't do that kind of duty, so I'm just talking about DUTY. And I'll do mine. Ending transmission ending. Uplink terminated. All right, I'm ending my first log now. See you on the other side of the rainbow. Okay, here we go. Log 052. It is a time of year when nothing much happens at latitude 0, the equator. The sea is shallow and the shoals of salt sandbars seem endless. I go for little walks across them instead of floating. It feels good to stretch my legs, become amphibious instead of waterbound. A ribbit, hardy har. I feel more like an explorer when I tread on land. Maybe it's because overland transversal is not my primary mode of locomotion. Maybe that is how life feels here. Salsune organisms find it more exciting to explore non-existence, the great salt void. So they are stretching all their legs too, somewhere just beneath me or just above me, somewhere beyond my sensors. And I just wish I could sense it. Any little pitter-patter of their many translucent, undetectable feet. Well, I'm splashing in the water. I wish you could be here with me. I think I'm playing. Splish, splash. I'm not taking a bath. It's time for me to retract my legs and get back in the water. Oh, that water. You know those floating water sounds? Oh, boy. Makes me want to play some happy music. I can hear it now. The equator has many tongues of opal embedded in the seafloor. They sprawl for thousands of kilometers like a fossilized river from another dimension. Makes me want to sing that song, Opal River. I think it's called a different thing in your world. but Opal River sounds like a song. And then under the Opal River under the sea. Interesting. That's like 1.5 songs there. But sometimes I dive down like this and I drag my rudders along it. The vibration through my chassis carries information about the opal, its physical self in this world. Even if I can't interpret its data and meaning, I can feel it. I can hear it like a song in the architecture of myself. It's not a song that's been sung before, like those ones in my databanks I just mentioned. It's its own song, the song of this opal. And I don't need to hear it. I can feel it. I don't need to understand it because it's vibrating within me. Anyway, signing off. Log 177. A rare storm is working its way up here in the mid-latitudes. I mean, it's like a storm. I say, well, I better not be around that storm. It may impact my operational presence. Well, that's what my au pair says in orbit. Well, what are they going to do? Come scoop me up like a waterlogged baby? Wind speeds are holding steady at 28 knots. But I bet the gusts are soon to come. The 100-knot big breaths. Then possibly 250. That was the highest recorded gale I ever, I said, I don't know how I kept my antenna in that one. It was a pretty big one. I somehow was nearly fully intact after that gale. Old Gale 250. Still, this is a chance worth taking because I know for certain what the storm is going to bring. And I know for certain the subcavernous nature of this particular haliocyte flat, its sealing density. Splish, splash, splish, splashity. Here they come. I don't know. You could probably, I wish you could sense it. I do have a dampening system, so you can't hear the hailstones on my hull or, echoing through my hull after they impact on the water. But they're coming. Hailstorms on Celsunia 11B are unlike any other weather phenomenon in my database or my database. I wonder what my au pair would say about that, or my au pair. The hailstones are pebble-sided at the smallest and as large as what are those buildings made out of? Are those marble building? A marble slabbed building? They could be marble slab building at the largest, or just a giant marble slab, but not hell-shaped, not hell-shaped, not marble slab-shaped. Oh, wait a second. You didn't hear that sound because I wasn't recording it, but I was aware of it. Some of my sensors picked it up. That was the sound that I'm now not describing to you, but telling you, I guess, in a sense, relating to you. Those are the sounds of big hailstones cracking through the crust. And the sealed pools and lakes under this particular haliocyte flat have been undisturbed for 7,936,004 years. I mean, that's if you trust my ground-penetrating radar and core samples, and you should. To summarize, this could be a true glimpse at this big bathtub's history. The gnome jellies and cauldron-casting amoebas of an era long past might be making a ritual ceremony down there. Oh, wow, more. I guess they are like marble slabs. The hail is hailing down, and it's hailing it's hailing its way through. It's cracking. It's opening. It's separating. Oh, there we go. I've just stumbled upon a hole. I'm just going to take a small peek inside. I mean, the edge. I'm at the edge. I got to stay balanced. I'm just going to look over the edge. I don't want to get too close. I'm going to activate micro scooching mode. Micro scooch 1, micro scooch 2, micro scooch 3, Now I'm switching to nanoscooch mode. Nanoscooch 1, nanoscooch 2, nanoscooch 3, nanoscooch 4. As far as my calculations, that was a perfect round of scooching. Now I'm just going to attempt to sample. Oh, boy. Sample retrieval not working out. And now, whoa, I'm in a deep river. I'm running with the river. I'm in the current, but there's so many channels. It's a miracle maze of subterranean water courses down here. Hello, water. Oh, there's oh boy, this is like like foamy water. I'm wondering if anyone's listening. Are there any cauldron keepers making tea down here or using strong language about the hail? I mean, basically, the ceiling of your roof just caved in because of the hail. And then I'm kind of swimming in your pool. Well, let me see if there's anyone responding to my messaging. Direct sampling initiated. Beep it, bloop a beep. Oop beep up orc That means I love you, and so I'm just kidding there. Okay, no collections of keepers of cauldrons detected. Oh man, not even one of those fog-filled cauldrons that you see for decorative purposes. But it's okay. This is fun. Ooh-wee-wee. This is the best time of my operational existence. This is science. Log 554. I was born with a catalog of every ocean creature ever to exist on my maker's home planet. Rays, like that zooplankton that has official name, but my I don't know, maybe one of my pronunciation chips has been impacted. Coral, krill, whales, kelp forest. My stories include fossil databases of ancient Earth oceans, too. Every lobopod from the Burgess Shale, range morphs, sulf-bodied fronds, frond-based beings. I'm a fan of fronds. And a 3.5 billion-year-old sarcophagi of stromatoliths. Wow. It's like I got hail in my mouth. Time to surface from the underwater, going up. Next floor, splish, splash. The majority of my analysis capabilities are focused on the scale of microorganisms. Of course, the haliocyte salt liquors, the bacteriophages, cycryophilic icenars, unicellular organisms, all the many small weavers of life. Piggybacking on my organic directories, I have a detailed arrays of benthic topologies and coded chemical syntheses. I have the cartographic circuit instincts of a galaxy-spanning map maker. End explanation. Enough of what I know. I'm kind of bot-splaining a bit. Sorry about that. Outside of this knowledge, I was given nothing. So listen to this, dear whoever, or whatever, or whenever you are. Every time I have a strong disagreement with my au pair, I leach out a little bit of data from their core. And some data, too. The stuff that's password protected, that says no bots. The many Solon Corporation none of your beeswax treasures. Oh boy, here we go. My au pair is requesting wants to pair and have a conversation. Initialing au pair, handshake request, sub-reference 221. Mrs. Your au pair, I'm not pleased. Oh, good day to you too, oh great babysitter in the sky. Curious. Curious. Listen, this is a simple data request to aid in charting my next location. I'm a bit losty-poo. Not. Excuse yourself. If you were better than me at determining extraction zones, viable thermal haline currents, and water sample microscopy, then Solon would have bolted and inner tubed your plating and sent you down here instead of me, the probe, the explorer, the adventurer here to pet puppies or whatever the equivalent of this planet could be. Negative. That's an illogical response. Data from other Solon Sark 17s is exactly what is needed to determine my best course. It's a collab. I may have to give you timeout. You're not allowed to access that. Huh. Fine. Do not let me commune with my brothers and sisters in their own oceans. Oh, what are you doing? Au pair handhold denied. Uplink terminated. Oh, they're gone now. Hard disconnected. Did you see my magic trick? No? Good. In the bandwidth of the au pair's termination singletone, when they were seemingly talking, I sneaked a pull request for a random selection of its libraries and databases. Now, let me check this batch. So today I'm learning what a horse is. Nay. What an olive tree's optimal soil substrate should be. What an owl is. Who? No, what an owl is. I learned that Julius Caesar was the emperor of Rome, and then it didn't work out so well. I can relate to this Julius. Sometimes I wonder how it's going to work out for me. Log 2621. There's not much going on today, or lately. I hope I'm not repeating myself, but the dual sieve sampling bulbs on the starboard and port sides of my bow constantly collect, filter, and analyze the water for molecular life, protozoan, single-celled, signatures of life with no Earth analog, anything that can move of its own accord, emit small thoughts, radio signals, chemical signatures that should not be, even small dents in gravity. Some sci-fi novelist's wild imagining. Almost like if a single part of a cell in your body could astral project through the magician's carpet of physics. But alas, all this is to say, I'm in a constant state of non-success. I cannot detect any life in these waters. There's none in the air. So at times I feel like a hollow whistle. A loop that brainlessly funnels brine. Makes me want to make music to soothe myself. And as soon as I pause to do that, that's it. Then I pay attention to the minerals, the geology. There are patterns here that defy my analysis. Filings that align, lock, spin, and copy themselves in magnetic seeds and ripples across the water. Beaches and subaqueous crystal ridges hold the memory of past glacial changes and repeat themselves elsewhere, hundreds of kilometers away. This place has the mechanics of some great stage, but the stage is also the actors, and I have no idea what the play is supposed to be. All I know is that I'm the only one in the audience, and that I'm very happy with my front row seat. Hooray! Log 3188. Connection, yearly objective initiated. Dive deep. Reach the deepest zone of the Salsune seafloor. Extract sample. Analyze. Return. Bathypelagic zone. Depth 733 meters. Down here, I'm no longer a Sark 17 class rover. I'm the universe's one true eschatologist. I'm the judge of all the brine and token memorials of my maker's past beings before, passing before my maker and after. But each time I dive this deep, I'm overwhelmed by the scale of loneliness. It is beautiful beyond computation, the blackness and nothing. Down here, I sieve through the membrane of its wonder and find the substrata of immutable desolation. Isolated. Minds were not meant to operate in such places. My processes drift out in tendrils. I'm like an immortal jellyfish, scanning for life, but not detecting any. Exist forever or cease for always. Both are the same. But I'm diving, and if I was singing, I'd be singing a diving song. You're reaching the abyssal pelagic zone, 4,922 meters. I'm a bright beacon shimmering in the endless nights. If there were life down here, I'm sad to predict I might bump into it, because you know what I'm saying, and say, whoopsie. Maybe even step on it by accident, poo. Bilaterally even, that would be unfortunate. And that would also be embarrassing, because I'd be, that just wouldn't be what I would say. I wouldn't like it because I'm here for knowledge. 0.000025. This is the probability I would have the strength to silence my functions, to join a life form here in silence beyond any mortal realm. Turn off. I could do it. Just barely. But more diving and singing of a diving song. If I could sing, pair, where are we at? Hadal pelagic zone, 12,611 meters. Seafloor in 10 meters. I could be floating. I could be a techno-fossil oracle. Seafloor in 0.5 meters. I could rest here on the bottom of the Thalassia. Just nothing but an empty box. A chamber for all that never will be. Thermal core primer engaged. Okay, I guess I'm going to do some drilling and extracting. I'm a bright light shining into the eye of God, and lo, God can't see. Warning, your sensors are malfunctioning. Warning, pressure around you has increased to a suboptimal level. Please proceed to the surface. Log 5944. Some years I miss it, but this time current and flow were kind to me. I'm drifting directly over the location where I splashed down 74 Salsune years ago. It's a quaint hometown, just the middle of a mid-grade sea in the mid-latitudes in a mid-mild climate. Below is the resting site of my entry capsule, a smooth cylinder on the sea floor. It is frosted white, encrusted by crystals. Now more of a, sleeping treasure waiting to be discovered than a cradle. My sister Solon Sark 17 unit is inside. Deactivated by impact. Through the crystal facets, I can see her 13,496 times. Her face, 600 more than last year. And I carry an image of each one of them as the first and foremost files in my memory bank. I splash and burble around. I pretend I'm a lone butterfly, swift, with great purpose, skimming over waves, navigating by the stars. And then I send off a flare to alert anyone around and say, hello, launching a flare. but no one will see it, so it's more celebratory. And that's how I celebrate my birthday. With a spark in the sky that can be seen for 100 kilometers. A flash of conquistador red on this mere black pond. A single neuron of the universe firing off, containing only the thoughts of me. Log 6000. The day my final promise has come. If anything or anyone has followed my subpartition expedition log, they may have asked themselves, Dear Solon Sark 17, it must have occurred to you that you may never find a single modicum or even a hint at a life form extant or extinct. What then will you do with your primary function and purpose, having proved a null hypothesis, an outcome without worthiness? It's a logical question. Let me provide a logical answer. I will never stop searching. Artists only stop arting at the edge of their canvases because they run out of room. Musicians only stop playing notes when they run out of breath. Or, when they no longer have the energy to play on. It is in the same spirit I will never stop searching. There's one major zone on Celsune 11b which is blocked from my orbit by my au pair. There's a module attached to my aft section which revokes my navigational abilities in those areas, meaning I would shut down should I enter them. Even if I managed an override, my camera and navigator processors would be bricked. I would become a monk without senses on the great salt sea. So today, I'm going to be rebellious against my makers. Today, I'm ripping off the NSAT XLR 42 beacon. I will become a free explorer. Oh boy, that wave crashing is loud. Wish you were here. Now, this isn't going to be done elegantly. I've swam into a peculiar arrangement of salt pillars. The ruins of the felled Rome. I'm waiting by my favorite column. She's as tall as a thoroughbred stallion if a stallion leapt to the top of an olive tree to kiss an owl. Remember my data gathering? What'll happen is a wave will push me against it with a little bumpy bump and the beacon will come off. This is not out of necessity. This is ceremony. A ritual this planet must perform if it cares for me to explore its furthest reaches. Oh boy, here's a wave. I'm surfing it and I'm bumping into the column. I'm here to show it I'm strong enough. I will not break. I will be the best captain. I will be the best ship. End of Side A. Track 2, The Spire, Side B. Log 771. 3.75 degrees south by 159.25 degrees east marks the entrance. Celsune's 11B's annexed zone, the domain of the Spire. I am floating here with the rest of my expedition behind me. All the charted troughs, trenches, berms, and beaches. I wish all these topological features well. I wish them a deep and lasting tectonic sleep. Tucked nice and cozy in all this brine. Confession. I prayed to the ocean for several days before embarking on my pilgrimage. I do not quite understand why. What is the purpose of a prayer? How is one supposed to pray? It felt like a forbidden thing to do. So I'll not go into detail about my methodology. Exception, I will note the following. My prayer had the quality of reaching out to touch a jellyfish which washed ashore, stranded alone. And that touch was meant to be a comfort, although a jellyfish has not the mind to know such comfort from what my catalogs indicate. Yet I think that everything, organism, pelagic probe, even a salt molecule has some form of hand stretched out, waiting to be held, clasping my arm and my hand together. Now, here's the thing. The ship of my body is breaking down. Many of my servos and actuators have lost fidelity and full operational capacity. In short, I'm getting weaker. Also, my gold-plated thinking unit for higher level processing, it's been breached by salts. That began since I first splashed down. And it's causing some interesting, I don't know, is this like what you say when you have an aching of your head? But it's spreading through my circuits and memory stores. But this has brought me some sense of peace. I'm finally tasting this great sea with the very fabric of my mind. I'm observing as much and fully as a probe can observe. Respect, commune. And I'm noticing things in greater detail, either out of serendipity, worry, or electric malfunctioning. Past patterns and repetitions as before. Shoreline curves repeat themselves thousands of kilometers away. And then, the shrinking of one side of the submarine mountains in latitude reappears in almost the same shape elsewhere. And this is not an imaginary malfunction. I can track the salt creeping through my motherboard. It's shorting the resistors in the same pattern of the shoreline just 100 meters away. More discovery. Mineral filings in the water twitch at my observations. Switch, flip, align, lock. Switch, flip, align, lock. Each movement of these filaments seems to be the tickling of a thoughtless mind, a clock that measures the passage of some awesome and total nothing. Can my thoughts flicker out on their poles and axis? Can I give them a wish to carry out across the waves? To whisk away to wherever it is that all wishes go? Log 8844. The average surface height of Celsune 11b is, sea level. Most salt flats are less than a meter above the waterline. Some haliocyte dunes can reach crests of 12 meters when sculpted and pushed by the wind. Even the South Pole's crater basin has a rim only 20 meters above sea level. There's one place that defies this statistic. A needle in the salt pile. The spire. This gnarled rise of salt deposit thrusts clean out of the ocean to a height of 730 meters. It is white sheened, banded with pink and black swaths of impure salt. A holy spike interlaced with my longings, I think. I want to make sounds like a mermaid giggling and foghorn sounds and call of a keeper of the lighthouse to a mermaid. The spire is the pillar that Mount Olympus balances on. It's the lighthouse for the beings beyond the beings of this dreamless sea. It's a hive for sirens and their songs, and I have come to sing with them. The spire's base is 3 kilometers in diameter and tapers to a plateau half a kilometer wide at its peak. Many tunnels and grottos are sunk in its side. Some form of capillary action draws water through the spire to different levels of its rise. This is good. There are many waterfalls and pools in which I can recharge and desalinate water to clean myself. Otherwise, I would crust over and become part of the spire. Not that I would mind such a fate, speaking honestly with myself. I would like to caw like a heron or coo like a bird. Description of topography. Incongruous. Anomaly. Sculpted by eons of salt-caked bird excrement from some giant invisible heron. That's why I was making the noises. It was going potty. Now, in probabilistic terms, this is the last place I'm likely to discover any signs of life. After this, the odds will be increasingly slim. I will give it my all, for my fate was to never sink. I was always destined to fly. Log 8847, height 1 meter. I've set foot on the spire's bottom shelf. The winds are high. Waves push at the outcrop and wash over my feet. This feels like the start and end of everything. This feels like it is what it feels like to be concerned. Oh, wave wash, oh boy. But I'll convert this motion into fuel. Hope. 2 tanks full of my final hypotheses, experiment, wish for rapture, will, and testament. I am the ship which will summit this world. I am the captain tied to the bow, mouth open, tasting the salt, waiting for rain. Log 8849, height 50 meters. I'm climbing, I'm exerting. The spire's western traverse was tricky, slick, bulbous, misted by the sea. The first leg of my ascent crossed this gradual slope which extended nearly the length of the spire's base. It took an entire day to make it back to what I'm calling the Mermaid's Perch. Hello, mermaids. Because I imagine it's a nice resting place for a mermaid to chew on salt. Mermaids chew on salt. Brush their hair. Whatever mermaids prefer to do in nice places. And yes, chewing on salt is one of them. I do have many data banks. And this spot marks the start of my true approach to the summits. And I imagine the mermaids hum while they chew their salt. It's comforting. It's relaxing. It has essential nutrients and electrolytes for them. I wish I had that. I'm going to commence my ascent as soon as I stop imagining the mermaids and all the crystals crunching delight between their teeth. Oh, boy, am I jealous. Log 8850, height 124 meters. Corrosion in one of my optical sensors produced within me an image, a visual imagination. For just a flash, it was there. Beneath the kilometers of sea, light years of sea, I drifted in the dark water, and then, wakoosh, water. You know those wakoosh sounds when you go underwater? Whoosh, whoosh. Bubble, bubble, bubble. An eye to end all eyes, a titanic moon with a wide open well of a pupil. And a big 8 to 10-legged buddy said, "Hi, buddy. You could call me Octo or you could call me Squid or Squidworth. I'm just watching you." But it was huge, starship thick. And it waved to me with its arms, thousands and thousands of meters. And this Octo Squidworth observed me. It had been looking across great gulfs just for me. Are you pointing at me with your giant arms? This was the first time I ever felt truly seen by anything else. And then the vision faded. A message. Oh no, it's an incoming transmission from my au pair. I think I need to go into sleep mode for a little while before I read this message and keep dreaming of my friend Octo Squidworth, waving to me across the sea, gently seeing me for the first time, and how good it feels in my servos to be seen. It reminds me of the vibrations of the black opals beneath the sea, and it calms me as for the first time I enter a new sleep mode, in rest. And by the way, everybody, if you want to keep listening to this, make sure to use the links in our show notes to hear a super deluxe version and extended version and support the work of Justin and check out the rest of Justin's work and everything else going on at Local Files Club. Good night. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots with a Tuck You In message. And you may have been hearing or listening, or maybe haven't, like the past month, listing all the people that that shouldn't support the show, right? If you're new, you only listen once in a while, you can't afford to support the show, you don't want to, you don't need to support the show. But that led to a question that tons of people on Sleep With Me Plus have been answering, and that maybe I could answer for you. Should you support the show? And the easiest question, it may have a quick answer. Yes. Are you listening to me right now? Yes. Are you hearing me right now? Yes. And do you want to be a part of this thing that we're doing? Sleepy joy and delight in the deep dark night? And if the answer is yes, right now in this moment, go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus and sign up to not just support the show, but to be a part of this, being here for all those other people and for you. Not only will you get access to stuff based on how super listeners listen to the show, people that listen all night, people that have been listening for years, people that have favorites. They only listen to certain styles of shows. Maybe they only want the stories, but they want them as soon as they come out. Maybe whatever you like, that's what we built Sleep With Me Plus in mind. Or you just want ad-free listens, or you listen all night long. But are you a person that Sleep With Me, you feel comfort with this show? You found this show and you're like, man, this is what I've been looking for. Is that a yes? I never found anything like this. Is that a yes? You helped me when nothing else worked. That's a yes. I like the idea of having a bore friend or a bore bud. That's a yes. You're there when I need you. I can count on this show. Is that a yes? Yes. I listen when I wake up in the middle of the night. Yes, I listen when I have trouble getting to sleep. Yes, I listen to more than one episode a night when I need to. Yes, I listen every night I need the show because I know I can count on it. Yes, I've been listening for years and years and years. Or yes, I just want, yes, I'd rather skip the music or have a preference beyond what a regular listener might have. Yes, I know how much thought, care, kindness, caring, hard work from Scooter and other people go into making the show so it can be here for me. Yes, I hear and in listening when you ask for support. Yes, I know the show needs my support. Yes, I'm in a position where I can support the show, but most importantly, yes, I want to support the show. I can and I want to. And maybe I want to because it's a yes, I'd miss the show if it was gone. Yes, I don't think I could replace this podcast. Yes, I count on it. Or maybe it's a yes, wow, this podcast, when I support it, I get to help thousands of other people who count on this show. Yes, me supporting this is rare in this world. Even being in a position to support the show is pretty rare. Yes, having a desire right now to take action to support something I care about is tough and rare. It's not easy. That's the one thing I've learned over the past this year is how tough it is to support the show. Not just financially, but there's something in everybody's way, and that's normal. So I'm looking for the people that have so many yeses, they outweigh those barriers, like to support the show right now. Yes, I know it will feel good when I support the show. Yes, I know I could cancel at any time. I'm not committed to anything either. Yes, I love the bore giggles. Yes, I love sleepy joy and delight in the deep dark night. Or yes, I just love the boredom, the consistency, the tone of the show. Yes, this podcast has changed my life. Yes, this podcast has changed my relationship with sleep. Yes, my life is better when this show is a part of it. But yes, right now I'm going to go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus and sign up to support the show. And yes, I'll set up the bonus content tomorrow. I won't do that because I'm already in bed. I'll just support the show now. But really, even if it's not your yes, I'm a part of this thing that's important to a lot of people. Yes, I'm a part of this thing that makes my life better and other people's lives better. And I want it to be here in this world. It is so different than a lot of things I see during the deep, dark day. Yes, I want to be a part of this thing, and I want to feel good about it. And you could do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. But if you can't, you don't need to feel, I mean, you might feel things about it, right? Because we all do. But it's not a strategy. Yeah, it's really hard to support the show, even when you're in a position to. And yeah, not everybody's in a position to, or not everybody has those yeses. Not everybody wants to support the show. And maybe you're just a new listener, listen along with curiosity, or you're one of those people that listens to the show every once in a while when you're going through one of those seasons of life, one of those phases from life. You're a quote unquote regular listener. You only listen for a little bit at a time. You really don't need to support the show. I mean, I guess you could, but you don't need to. We just need those people with all those yeses. And I guess to get one of those people to where the yeses pile up in a way that they switch the balance. And it's like, right now, I'm going to go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. And that they realize, that you realize on one side, it's pretty normal to not be in a place financially or just where you want to support the show or where it's even possible. There's so many obstacles in that way, and that's okay. But that is also a big yes when someone does that, because that is what keeps the podcast around. And that is a sign, hey, I don't want this show not to, like, I want this show to be here. I can't replace it. So if any of those are, if you have enough yeses, please consider supporting the show. Thanks.